again, good evening and welcome to another in our series of programs, TalkSports. Well, he started at the St. John's Christian Secondary School, also known to many as Schaper, and then he moved on to the Western Oklahoma State College and then to California State University Fullerton, of what we call Cal State Fullerton. And then he went into the professional league. Our guest tonight played professional basketball starting in Argentina. He also played in Brazil and Chile, ending in Croatia. This evening, our special guest is the tall and massive Arkim Robertson. Good evening to you, Arkim.
All right, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for having me.
Well, I think it's late.
Actually, it's
Probably
midnight
around
right now.
midnight. Right, midnight. So Akim is with us, and he's actually in Croatia, and he'll be speaking to us tonight on his entire journey, and in from playing secondary schools basketball in the parish of St. John, go off to be exact, and then making his way all into the professional league, spanning South America, I
Yes,
think.
yes, it is.
Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and now in Croatia. So let's start off. By the way, how have you been coping with the pandemic, Akim?
Pretty good actually. Just been working out, practicing with my teammates. I mean, not going nowhere. I'm just home for the meantime, and that's about it. When I get home, I just talk to
Okay.
family, talk to my friends, talk to my daughter, and go back to practice. That's it.
But you were in Grenada for a while, right? You were in Grenada for a while.
Yes, I was. I was. Actually, I was in Croatia first, and then the pandemic happened, and then I just had to come back home.
Okay. So let's go into actually, how you got involved in basketball. I know it will be a long story talking about playing basketball at home, playing on the concrete, playing, and things like that. So how you got involved in the sport, the basketball?
Actually, it was through a guy they called Damian Welch. He saw me at Intercall, and he was just like, "Put your hands up." When I put my hands up, like I had, I think it was a 7'1" wingspan, and he got me to come to Grenada and practice at first. But before Damian Welch, a guy they called Shala, he works at RBTT. He used to always tell me to come and practice with Naka, and I used to tell him like, nah, because I always used to hear rumors about Naka, like he gonna kill his players, like he gonna work them hard and this and that. So I never used to like want to go train with Naka. So it was actually Damian Woods that got me introduced to basketball first.
Okay. Um, would you say it was an easy road for you, learning the sport itself and getting yourself, acclimatized to playing such a contact sport?
Yeah, it was an easy road for me, but at first, I had no interest in it. Like I just did not want to play basketball at first. Like I was into track and field, like javelin, shot put, discus. I was playing cricket before. I was playing volleyball before. So I mean, when I do got into basketball, and the first thing I ever did was dunk, and then I just fall in love with it. So from there it was easy.
Oh, there we go again. Another former track and field, former track and field athlete. So you're actually saying that track and field was, part of your first competitive sport.
Yes, I used to do like shot put and discus and stuff. So I did that first before I even think about playing basketball.
Okay. So, what it was like playing for the St. John's Christian Secondary School. I know, and I told you that in a discussion a few days ago, even though it wasn't your time, but St. John's Christian Secondary School used to, give a lot of, they used to give a lot of trouble in secondary schools basketball.
Um, in my time, I got robbed in the finals. I would never forget that. I got robbed in the finals against Wester Hall, against a close friend of mine. His name is Jonathan Phillip, better known as Uga. So I got robbed in the finals. I would never forget that. I lost in the semifinals against one of my good friends again, Daniel Ridges, Pencil. So in my time playing in Schaper, I used to always get in the semifinals and in the finals. But I used to get robbed. They used to rob me. I didn't care what they say.
All right. Folks may have a slight delay because Arkim is actually in Croatia. We're speaking to him live from Croatia. It's after midnight. It's actually Friday morning in Croatia. We do have a slight delay, so don't
Yes, it
mind the
is. Yes, it is.
slight. But let's talk about how you move from playing secondary school basketball into the U.S. college system. We have spoken to others who, um, like Kevin Cox and others who have
Yeah.
indicated how they actually got involved, how they were able to promote themselves, how
Hmm.
they were able to attract coaches at the attention rather of coaches. How are you able to get into the U.S. college system?
Well, actually, we played in the Winter Island games, and I can remember meeting St. Vincent and St. Lucia really bad. And there was this one coach who was watching. His name is Coach Orlando, and he saw us, and he saw like all the tall players we had. So it was me and Pencil and somebody at the time. I can't remember who, but he saw me. He talked to some coaches in Grenada about me, Coach Naka, and Coach Naka got me a scholarship, a full ride scholarship to Western Oklahoma, a Division One JUCO school. And that same year, I was supposed to he came down to Grenada and also to other tall players. And when he came down, like we all went to like a little camp in Lavery, and he signed Hakeem as well. So I get started to go to the United States and through the Winter Island games. So if it wasn't for like the clips and stuff during those games, like I don't know, who knows, I would have been back home doing something else.
Hmm. So and then the actual transition from playing secondary schools basketball, St. John's Christian Secondary, playing in Windward
Yeah.
Island Secondary Schools basketball, and then coming into a college, the college system. That would have been the JUCO system, the JUCO, sorry,
Mm.
the junior colleges. How the transition, what the transition was like.
Uh, well, first, the pace of the game was different, and the style of the game was different. So back in school games, like we would play a lot of zone defense, but over there, like they play a lot of man to man. Like you gotta be like okay, so like you gotta have good conditioning, which was really great because all Naka used to do was just make us run, make sure we good on conditioning and like we strong and everything. So that was easy over there. But just picking up the pace of the game and learning different rotations and just learning how to guard, period. Just guarding anybody. Like that was a big deal over there.
And for someone who would have gone through the system in college, you're now playing professional basketball. Um, do
Yeah.
you think our basketballers, they can make it into the system? It takes what to make it into the system in terms of the physical
Sure,
fitness and
sure. Up to the old guys up here could make it, but um over there is more like conditioning and skills. and you and like you really hoop like a guy like Jordan could point guard level. There's like Indy, like he again could make it at the two guard level, like just and there's like many other guys that I've been hooping with when I come back. Like they all could make it out there, but it's just a chance they need, and like
Yeah.
coaches to just come down here and just see them and see their potential.
You're disappointed that we have not had over the years, even though there were promises, and you've probably one that can speak because you playing professional basketball now in terms of the better facilities for basketball players in Grenada. Okay, I think we still having a little problem with the
I didn't quite
connection.
hear you, so can
Yeah.
you
Okay.
repeat the
So
question?
I was asking about in terms of the facilities for someone like yourself and the Kevin Cox and others who have had the exposure of playing international basketball, playing in, you
Yeah,
know,
I think I
the facilities. I'm asking about if you're
yeah.
disappointed that we have not had that sort of transition in Grenada in terms of improved facilities for our young basketballers.
Hmm.
Okay, folks, I think we have just lost him a bit. As I indicated, we don't have the best of conditions, connection rather, this evening. Arkim Robertson is actually in Croatia. He is it's past midnight, so it's already Friday morning, and we are hoping that we can reconnect. Okay, so we are back now, Akim. So I was asking you about the in terms of the facilities.
All right, yeah, we back. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
The facilities, yeah, because like in the States, like you have like everything. Like you have the court, indoor courts, like you have the weight room right there, like you have trainers who will just come with you like every day, twice a day, three times a day to work with you. So like in Grenada, like you don't have that. So that's why like some of the players right now, like Hakeem, Kevin, even Pensa, like they won't want to come back here because there's nothing here for them to work out to. Like there's nobody here to like break down the flames of them playing overseas and go on the court with them and tell them, okay, well, this is where you're weak at, this is what you need to do, like this is what you need to work on. So like many players would not want to come back here after they finish the season. Like I'm the only player who like come back here and work out with Naka, still come hoop on Saturday morning, still come hoop on Sunday morning, and just play basketball with the guys. And even with the younger ones, like I still come and hoop with the younger ones whenever they got school games. I still go to the training and still hoop with them. Still try to give them like little advice and stuff. But in terms of the facilities, like I just wish we could get some like just one indoor court.
so you
Like even
actually
if we get
saying
just one.
so you're actually saying that the lack of the facilities and the other amenities are sort of hampering the development of the sport in the country, especially when it comes to the experienced players coming back and probably giving
Exactly.
back to the younger
Yeah.
players.
Because if you is a professional basketball player and you coming back home, like you would think like, okay, the Ministry of Sports will like at least try to upgrade on something. Like we still come back and we for years, 10 plus years, we still have outdoor courts. Like we don't have one indoor court. And if we do, that's in library.
Okay. What's about in terms of competition? I mean, I've been trying to gauge that from even Coach Naka and others in terms of the lack
Uh-huh.
of competition, basketball competition itself. I mean, you football, as they say in soccer, there is, football being played almost on a yearly basis and almost, probably 5 6 months of football being played. Then there's a track and field season. But over the years, we have not had competitive basketball. What you think about the lack of a proper structure and a proper basketball tournament in terms of the development of the sport on the island?
Basketball, is I don't think they love basketball that much as how they love football in Grenada.
When you say they,
Me personally,
when you say they, can you clarify? You're speaking about the authorities, or you're speaking about the public?
yeah, the authorities, the public, I don't think they love basketball like how they once did. Because in my years playing in Guelph, like basketball was one of the main sports out there. So the fans would come out, like it would be crazy. But now, like sponsors don't want to sponsor basketball. Um, nobody want to give money. Like nobody don't want to do anything. So that's why you hardly see it on competition. I mean, if Naka don't try to get some sponsor, try to get some cash to do a tournament, there's no tournament. So I really don't think the authorities like basketball that much. They prefer football over everything, and that's how it is. That's how it's been for the past what 4 or 5 years.
That's a tough statement. Nevertheless, I believe you think you have the facts to back that up, right?
Is is the truth? Is is the truth? It is. It is. Because if
So,
you look back, like you will see football playing for what 60,000, 50,000. Like you would get a basketball tournament for what 10,000, 15,000. So if you check it, it's really not like you cannot compare it.
well, I mean, I don't know what is the problem now, but I recall even before Wagiti got involved in the Wagiti football, there was a Wagiti basketball. But I don't know what's, the reason. And obviously, there is the economic aspect of it as well. But if you
Hmm.
are if you are to advise, if you are to given an opportunity, a platform to suggest in terms of the development of the sport on the island,
Yeah, Wagiti.
what
Yes.
what would you suggest?
Knockout. Yep.
But I'm not talking just about the competition. I'm talking about the overall development of the sport. So the training, the facilities, competitions, everything. What are the items? What are the areas you will want to
True.
suggest in terms of the development? Oh, I didn't know if you heard the question. It was a question. And again, the question is, if you are if you are given a platform and you are to suggest or recommend, make recommendations to the authorities that you say are not serious about the development of basketball, what are the areas you would like to suggest in
Repeat
terms
that
of
question again.
okay, in terms of the development of the sport, the basketball? What are the areas you would like to identify or you want to suggest that in terms of recommendations for the development of basketball in Grenada?
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, again, we lost him for another time. Again, please bear with us as you understand that we're trying to regain connection. We have been having that problem with his connection. Again, we're making the effort. It's all the way in Croatia, and it's probably not the best, as probably even you in Grenada, the kind of connection you have in Grenada. So he's fighting with it, but nevertheless, um, he will see if he can regain connection. But you know, uh, some of the comments already coming in, and Kevin, we had Kevin Cox on earlier, and he's agreeing with Akim in terms of what he has been speaking about, as he indicated, facts, bro. It's been that for a long time, and obviously adding to what Naka would have said sometime recently on the program in terms of the lack of recognition for basketball. And it's one way we have been trying to showcase basketball for the past few weeks. And also Um, Marlon George is saying that Grenada need to get some fresh faces to run basketball. Wow, that's a tough one. Get rid of Naka. Naka has played a very important role in the development of basketball and basketballers in Grenada. And in his defense, and many of those guys will tell you that through Naka's and Naka's initiative and Naka's involvement, he was able to get scholarships for quite a few of them to make it into the universities, colleges, and even played in the professional league. Like Arkim himself is speaking about that. I'm sure Kevin Cox will allude to the fact that Naka would have assisted him and provided some assistance. But I think we have Akim back. Akim, I have to
Yes,
apologize
yes.
once again, but that's fine. That's fine. We do understand, and
Yeah.
that's it. But we're still making the effort, and I'm going back at you again because I want to hear what are the suggestions, what are the recommendations you will make to the authorities, seeing as your claim that the authorities not serious about the development of basketball. So I'm giving you that platform. If they are listening, they'll
Hmm.
probably want to hear
Hmm.
from you what it is you will
Yeah.
suggest, what it is you will put on the table for the development of basketball on the island, and not just competition. We're talking about for the
Hmm.
overall development of the sport. The platform is yours.
Well, I would say start from the kids come up. So you have summer camp like every summer. So you have summer camp for the kids, and that's something I used to do with Naka every time I come back to Grenada. We used to always have summer camp in Guelph, and after that, like we will have a under 20. So you could have a summer camp, and after that, you have under 11, you have under 15, you have under 19, then you have under 25, and then you have the senior tournaments with the Sparklers, the Generation, the River Road Lakers, the Tornadoes, the Granads. So you start from there, and then you pick the 50 top players or the 60 top players, and then you have like again like little tournaments with them, and you have coaches or trainers, training them and making sure they shot is good, making sure they ball handling skills is good, like making sure all that is like in place at a young age. So when the kids is like 15, 16, and some coach come to Grenada, they're not going to say, okay, I'll come back in the next 2 years. They'll take them right now and give them a 4-year scholarship. So you 16, you already signed to a D1 school. And that's what America does over there. Like you see 15-year-old, they come into Duke, 14-year-old coming to UCLA, and they still in high school. So if you start from there, then their skill level at age 15 is way advanced than they're like they right now going to college in the States, and they have to like try to learn everything in 1 month or try to learn everything in 2 months.
Mhm.
That's what I gotta say to them.
All right. Well, I gave you the opportunity because
Yeah,
you
that's
are
what it
given,
is.
yeah, you
That's
said
what
that
it is.
the authorities are not, but you had the flow to make your pitch, and I hope the authorities are listening to you because while you were speaking, there was some comments coming up, and I saw Marlon again
Uh-huh.
came back and he said Nigel
Well,
Bayham, for example, who have left New York,
yeah, even
and I
yeah,
do.
even Nigel does like little workouts and stuff, and even Nigel like do stuff with the kids in Granas, but like they wouldn't highlight that. But he does come to Grenada, and like he does do stuff with the kids and stuff. I had to do like a couple workouts with him, but I know you would have killed me, so I was dodging him for a little bit.
Mhm. All right. Well, it's it's nice to know that there are those who like Nigel, although the challenges they face,
Yeah,
still returning to Grenada because you did indicated that there are a number of players who would have completed colleges, and because there isn't, or even playing in professional leagues, and because
exactly.
of the lack of facilities and amenities, do not or well, they don't wish to return because there isn't
Well,
that sort of incentive.
you would not leave a gym open 24/7. and come down to Grenada that don't have an open gym and don't have an indoor gym, so you cannot hoop. When all you do is hoop, that's your life. So you would not leave that, and you would not leave like good facilities to work out, like lift weights and stuff, and like you get in what physio to come see after you, like any injuries you got, like you just go back to your old school and they take care of you. Like you would not leave that good treatment and come back home where there is next to nothing and want to work out here. So players like Kevin Cox and Daniel and Hakeem and them, like they're gonna stay over there.
Um, I, I I know we have to get on to the professional aspect of your your sojourn, but
Yeah.
it seems as if you have opened a can of worms in terms of the development of the sport, and I have to get into some of the comments that are coming in, and obviously I want you to comment on them. This one says,
Hmm.
Gary Chance is saying, as a young man involved in basketball, I have to say, in order for the sport to develop, we need to bring back basketball at the primary school level and more development programs. To my knowledge, Guelph is the only place that has a basketball academy.
As again, like as what I was saying earlier, like you start the kids from young. So primary school, like that's okay because they were 10, 9, 11. So you start them there, and then when you move to secondary school, they 15, 16. So they have a lot of knowledge of the game. So that's why I say like in secondary school, like when they 15, 16, and coach is looking at them, they already got the skill set, they already got the knowledge. So coach could sign them from there. So they just finish their school and then they just go straight to the States.
Okay. That's then oops, let me see. Yeah, the comments are coming in, but I
It's
want to make
getting
sure.
interesting.
Mike, 2 years ago, I assisted with transportation of three gentlemen from the US who went to St. Mark's, the Carnage, and Library to do clinics. And interestingly, no one showed up at Library, but there were great turnout at Victoria and Carnage. So there again, that's Roger Augustine, who actually is very knowledgeable in terms of
Hmm.
moving around. He works with the tourism authority, and he
Hmm.
most times have the honor of meeting these people. And he is saying that, listen, yeah, but we had some people who came and they were holding clinics around the island, and only in
Hmm.
as he says, only in Victoria and
The
Canada.
Carnage.
Yeah, they turned out. So there is a seemingly, as he's indicating,
Hmm.
it could be a lack of interest as well, not just blaming the authorities, but a lack of interest by even some of the youngsters now.
That too, because before you bring a young guy to the court, he'd rather stay by the road, smoke weed, play like a bad boy, and join gang and stuff instead of just come on the court and do something, or even go on the football field and play football. So I mean, he do have a point to what he's saying, but people who is interested, like they will go.
Mhm.
Cause I used to leave Granroy every morning, Saturday morning, and find myself in Guelph for 7 o'clock. So people who's interested, like they will go. I used to come to the school and practice with my school team, stay in Guelph, 6 o'clock, practice, find a ride to go back home. So people who are interested, trust me, Roger. Like they will go. They will go.
Okay. Well, the comments in terms of that will be, coming, and obviously will be back and forth, because there are those who are arguing that basketball is not getting its fair share. But
It's not. It's not. Like to be honest, it's not. It's
but
not.
but I was making the point that even though, and the basketballers like you might be saying that, but yet for all, there's so many basketballers who are getting scholarships. So why that is happening?
Basketball. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, anybody could correct me. Like since 1994 to 2014 or 2013, like I was the first Grenadian to get a scholarship there. So you're talking about like a whole 20 years or more than that. And then after that, you got Hakeem, then you got Pencer, then you got Cox, and then you got I think it's Che, and then like you got other people now. So now it's on a rise. So if the Ministry of Sports is smart, like they're gonna put stuff in place for other basketball kids coming up that's younger to get more scholarships because there are um there are coaches out there looking at players in Grenada. Like for example, I have this coach, the same coach Rolando. Like he was looking at one guy to give a scholarship this year, but it's because the guy was like didn't work out and he's like 19 and he didn't have nobody to train him or anything. He just didn't get the scholarship. So if you have stuff in place and you're putting things in order, like there is players that's gonna get scholarship and there is coach looking out there.
But on the other side of that, the flip side, there will also be the argument that uh, that may be so, and there may be the one or two, chances or opportunities rather for Grenadians to get into the system. But when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
basketball, which is very competitive in the United States, and so many kids are
Mm-hmm.
playing basketball, especially at the high school
True,
level. And then
true.
when you look at so the talents in the US, the talents
Mm-hmm.
in other parts of the Caribbean that probably may have, like the Jamaica and the Bahamas, that may have the
Yep.
facilities and all the amenities and the exposure. And then
Mm-hmm.
even outside of the Caribbean and the US, there might be others in probably South Africa or the Africans, tall and
Yep. Yep.
competitive. So it may be
Yep.
very challenging for a young Grenadian setting his sights on probably getting a scholarship in a college, a US college, and having to compete against all these other obstacles, as we'll say. Obstacles in the sense of everyone competing for this probably one spot.
Well, to be honest with you, that is true because when I started playing and when I was playing out there, my main intention was to outwork the guy that won my spot. So we friends and all that, but when it comes to practice, I want to beat you in everything. So it's just a matter of you working hard and you putting in the extra work. And like your game gonna speak for itself. So if you discipline enough and you got guidance and you got people like telling you what to do and you have people giving you good advice and stuff, like you're a rich far. Cause I remember a guy, I don't know his name, but he used to I think he's working in Nawasa. I think he still does right now. That man once told me like I would never get a scholarship for basketball. Like straight up to my face. He was like, forget basketball, go play cricket. And then he started giving me an example how Devon Smith used to play basketball and then he stopped basketball and he stopped playing cricket and he making like millions and stuff, like leave basketball. And that same night, Coach Naka had him come and teach me how to do like some drop step to the basket and stuff like that. So it's all about your mindset and how bad you want it.
Yeah, but talking about the mindset and how bad you want it, but don't you think sometimes the mindset itself has to change in that some of them may just be thinking about, oh, let me play basketball because I probably can make $1 million.
Well, it don't work like that.
Oh,
You could say that,
right.
but it don't work like that.
That's why I'm glad you mentioned about the mindset because the mindset might be
Yeah,
just about making $1 million or being an NBA player. I mean, who doesn't want to be an NBA player? But I
true.
mean,
Everybody does.
yeah, but the mindset and as you indicated, putting in the hard work, you know.
Yeah, because I used to, like I said, like I used to come out to school, do school training, stay in Guelph, practice from 6 to 9. Sometimes I get all right with them boss man. Like every day I was just praise them boss man and praise Nayo. Because if it wasn't for them boss man, like I wouldn't get no right to go back home. I sweat the and thing, the men will still give me rides. So it's all about putting in the work.
Okay, there is a yeah. Tracy Crawford is saying talented athletes need exposure, coaches need to network. Grades are very important. And I assume you will agree with that, especially from someone who moved from St. John's Christian Secondary School to the JUCO, to the NCAA, well, Division One and others, and into the professional league. You will agree about the grades and the coaches, especially in Grenada, needing to network.
Yeah, but coaches like they are to themselves and they are selfish. Like in Grenada, like they are to themselves and they are selfish. Like no coach want to work with one coach because one have bad blood with one and one did this before that. Like just forget all that and just work because y'all are old already. Like it's not for y'all. It's just for the kids that's coming up. So like the grudges y'all have, just put that to the side and work on the kids. But you do need good grades to play because if you don't, then you're just gonna be on the bench. And as a player coming from the Caribbean, it costs a lot to bring a player from the Caribbean than to just have a player in the United States to sign them. So that's why when coaches take players like from Jamaica, Grenada, St. Vincent, Trinidad, like they make sure they have like good grades and stuff. So you have to have good grades in order to play. So if you don't, then you won't be eligible to play.
Okay. So that's probably one of the things you would have added in the recommendations. Eh? Don't forget.
Yeah, yeah, good grades too. Yeah,
Yeah, good
yeah,
grades,
yeah, yeah.
and the coaches and the coaches needing to network. Grenada is too small for that. The coaches need to come together, form a network, and
Everybody for themselves.
Mhm.
Like I don't talk to that person, or that person did this. That man is a bubble. He's a genial. He do this. He do that. That man no good. And just so you go in.
Therefore, you are strengthening the point that it's not so much that the authorities don't like basketball. You're actually saying that even the people involved in basketball probably don't like the sport because if there is unity, if they're facing all these
Not they
challenges,
don't like the sport. No, no, no. Not they don't like the sport. They don't like each other. Not
well,
they don't like the sport.
but they're in it for basketball, so they should they should be
Call it easy for yourself.
first of all they'll have to love each
Uh,
other if they have to love each
yeah.
other. Yeah, good argument though, but it's nice to know that. But before we let's see what Kevin is saying. There's a lot of commitment and sacrifice that comes with getting better. Can't put all the blame on the authorities for real because most kids back home don't take it that serious.
And to what I was telling you, true. Like some kids rather just stay on the block, smoke weed, like join gang, like just play bad boy, like instead of just coming on the court and just like working on the game, like those are good. So, like I said, it's both sides.
Yeah, but so therefore, how can they, apart from it being on television, how else can
Mm.
the officials in Grenada, whether it's the basketball association, whoever, can make it more encouraging, more enticing, more appealing
Mm.
for the youngsters, as you say, to come off the blocks and get onto the basketball courts?
Simple. Just have more tournaments, have more boot camps, have more clinic, you know, and just let the older heads like who been playing basketball before just bring the young kids to play. Because I just be playing in Granans like every Saturday, and there's a bunch of young kids who just be coming out there just to hoop.
So
Only in St. George's I be seeing the young kids coming and hoop. Like if I go up in Guam, it's just the old heads I be hooping, and there's a bunch of young kids in Guam.
but you're saying it's not just hooping, but actually getting them in some kind of constructive tournaments,
Eh,
etc.
Yeah, yeah, like get them in little tournaments first, develop them, and then you open up the door for them and have them come in as juniors, and you just teach them more, embrace them. Because if you don't embrace them, then they just gonna go where they feel love. They feel love in the streets, so they go in the streets.
Okay. Well, we probably see if we can come back to that. Look at that. We 40 minutes in
Yeah.
the program and we're speaking quite a lot. But let us get on how it was for you inside of
Mm,
the college system. The JUCO you started in Western Oklahoma. What it
yeah.
was like for you throughout that season in playing for Western Oklahoma?
Uh, my first my first season there, being My first season there was pretty good. At first, I had to learn a lot of plays, like they call a lot of plays. So you have to know like 20 plays, and sometimes every game like they switch the plays up because of course teams are watching you. So when you play one game now, what you do that game, like you won't be successful in the next game. So you got to change up a lot of plays, a lot of defensive schemes and stuff like that. So there's a lot of film watching, defensive scheme that you got to do, and like you got to rest. You got to go to the weight room. Like you still got to study. Like you still got to go to class early in the morning. So it's not really easy. Like I wouldn't say it's easy, but if you like it, then it's not gonna be that hard.
And then moving on from Western Oklahoma to
Uh huh.
Cal State
Cassette
Fullerton.
full.
Yeah, Fullerton.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, Go
yeah,
ahead.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
You go ahead in terms of your that's that season, because I think it would have been your senior season that would have excited. Um,
Yeah, it was my junior and my senior season. So I graduated from Cal State, from Western Oklahoma, and then I signed to Cal State. But I had some other offers to go to Lafayette. I had one interest, well, just an interest. I had the Mexican State coach came down to Cal State to Western Oklahoma to watch me play. So it was just a little interest, but I did sign to Cali because Cali kind of remind me of home with like the hot sun and the beaches and everything like that. But when I got there, my junior year, I actually went to the semifinals my junior year. Started all games, went to the semifinals, lost by a buzzer beater, and like that was the most painfulest loss ever. We lost by a buzzer beater, and then we like created a group chat that called Redemption, and we had that same clip in it, the buzzer beater clip, and we worked hard all summer. Came back my senior year, won. Um, After that, I played in March Madness. I played against Purdue in March Madness, and then after that, I went overseas. Like I went to play pro. I got me an agent and signed my deal, and then went to play pro.
yeah,
So
let's
yeah,
talk about the pro. First of all, you started in Argentina. How it was?
Argentina was good, but um, Argentina is like American basketball and South American basketball is too different. Like the style of plays is very different. So when I started in Argentina, I was still trying to get the concept of how they play, the pace of how they play, and that didn't go too well. So in the first 2 months, 2 months, yep, I got cut. I got cut in the first 2 months. Got back, went back to the States, work out, and then I signed me another deal to go to Brazil. And like that was a blessing in disguise because when I went to Brazil, like everything just flowed naturally for me and did really good in Brazil. And then came back to Grenada, worked out for the whole summer, and then I signed a deal again to go to Chile.
Ah, okay, and from, well, you're not in Chile now, so how was the
No,
transition from Chile
yeah,
to Croatia?
the transition to Chile to Croatia it was because of injury. So in Chile, while I was in Chile playing, uh, I went to block. A, I went to block a shot, and then I came down, and then I damaged five ligaments in my left foot. So I had damaged four and tier one. So I had to be out for like 6 weeks, and like they wasn't gonna wait on me, so they had to release me. So I got released. I got treatment over there. Got released. Then come back again, and then go back to my old team physiotherapist, Gavin Taylor, because he's Spakula as a therapist. So I went to him, got treatment there. Got treatment there. I think I had practice with the Grenada national team too that same year. So when my foot got better, I was practicing with them because they was going to Tsunami somewhere to play basketball. So I
I think
practiced with them, and then
yeah, Suriname for the championship, the Caribbean champion, Suriname. Yeah.
oh, okay, so I was practicing with them, and then I signed a deal to go Croatia, and then I just came to Croatia, and then Croatia again. The rest was history. So signed to Croatia, played really good. Corona come, stopped it, and I signed my extension deal in Croatia. What like three weeks
About a week
before?
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 weeks ago to come here.
Okay. So as it is now, you not too long
Mm,
flew from Grenada into Croatia, um,
no,
for the start of the the new season.
new
Uh,
season. Yep, yep.
yeah. When the season starts.
The season gonna be starting early this year, so anytime around. Oops, sorry. Anytime around September 19th or 18th, the season starts. So right now we're just in training camp right now. Trying to get accustomed to some of the new faces because we got some new players and we got some old players that we brought back. So we're just trying to get some chemistry in and trying to get some friendly match in. So I think today I have a friendly match. So we just trying to hoop, get to know one another, and get that chemistry going, and hopefully we could just be on a roll like we was last year. Well, last season.
Well, it's I know you're in the Premier League in Croatia.
Croatia.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it, a competitive league? Describe to me, or describe to us rather, the playing basketball in Croatia at the professional level.
It's not easy playing basketball over here, especially in Croatia, because this the Premier League is like the top league in Croatia. So it's where I don't know if you watch the Los Angeles Clippers. They got this guy they call Zubac. So if you watch basketball and you watch the Clippers, this guy they call Zubac, he came from this league here. So it's a really tough league here.
So it's actually an opportunity, quote unquote, for an opening, possibly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all about the opportunities and the right time and the people that you know put yourself around.
Okay. If you can tell us in English, what is the name of your team in Croatia?
Scudero.
Okay.
Scudero.
All I would say, probably all I can say for now is that you're playing for a Croatian side. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. What game are we looking at here now?
All right, I'm just okay.
I think that was in March. That was in March.
Well, I can't see the game yet. I'm just seeing my jersey number. That's it.
Oh, okay, your jersey number. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I think let me get back. I think it's a game where you actually scored. It was a highlights. I mean, it was quite a lot, over 5 minutes of highlights. And I needed
Okay.
to.
Okay.
I think it was sometime in March. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was posted of you playing.
Um, I think it's against Zadar. That's one of the top teams out here in Croatia
Yeah,
because they had won like a couple championships and they always get like some of the best players.
yeah. Okay, you're correct. Zada is the name of the team. Yeah, Zada is the name of the team.
Yeah, Zadar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it when you play professional basketball in Croatia, it's similar to the NBA in terms of the atmosphere, the crowd, what it is like in terms of playing?
Well, the crowd is crazy. The fans are crazy, I should say. The fans, because the
So
fans
there's
be
a big
saying some things.
so there's a big following for basketball in Croatia.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So me, I love the fans, and I love when the fans talk crazy. Like I love when they trash talk and everything. Like that gives me energy. So the fans out here is crazy, and some plays that you play in like Zadar and Split and Garcia, the energy and the atmosphere is like contagious. So like some games like you just can't hear nothing. Like you can't hear a play, like you can't hear when the whistle blow, you can't hear anything because the fans are loud. So out here, like you have a big support for basketball.
And as a black man playing in the Croatian league, and probably for your side, I don't
Yeah.
know, only black man. Have you had any issues with race or anything like
Right.
that? So,
Unfortunately, no, I haven't. Since I've been playing pro, I haven't had no issue. Nobody coming up to me and talking racist crap to me and none of that. So I would say I'm lucky for the most part because I haven't had any issue. I haven't run into anybody that talk crazy or say anything crazy to me.
Akim, at your height and size, it appears that
Hmm.
you're very commanding for your team, and probably in the league. I watched some of the games, the clippings, and
Uh-huh.
it seems as if you're probably the Shaq of the Croatian league.
He got one or two guys that's taller than me because I had played against I think I played against a 7 footer already. So he got big guys out there. But um I'm one of the biggest. I would say that I'm one of the biggest.
And kind of strange, and that someone from Grenada is a basketballer. Normally, we don't get this size as Grenadians as basketballers. You know,
I mean, well,
you're either tall and lanky
um,
or short.
yep. I think Hakim is taller than me. Hakim is like 6'11". So like we do have a 6'11" guy. Pencil, I want to say Pencil is 6'9", same height as me, maybe taller. So like we do got some tall guys.
But height and size.
I'm probably the biggest. I'm probably the biggest.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. But what are what are you thinking? What are you hoping in terms of your professional endeavor as a basketballer? Now you're remember you started off St. John's Christian Secondary School, Western
Yep, yep,
Oklahoma, Cal State,
yep,
Fullerton. Now you
yep,
went all around. You went to Argentina. You played in Brazil. You played in Chile. You're now in Croatia. There must be some
yep.
thinking about with Akim in terms of what the future holds for Akim. What's your thought process? What are you thinking? If you mind sharing.
Well, right now, just trying to get to a bigger league, a better league right now, and just hopefully, the goal is to win a championship here, win as much championship out here as possible. So that's the goal right now. In terms of long term, just trying to get in a bigger and better league. Just always trying to improve, like trying to get to the next step, like how I can get better in every area of my game. So that's what I'm focusing on right now.
May I ask you if this is a championship ring you're wearing? Is that your championship ring?
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
which
that's my that's my that's my Cal State Fullerton championship, man.
Okay, let's okay, Cal State. Okay, and for
Yeah,
those who don't know Cal State Fullerton, that's the California State University Fullerton, and that's NCAA.
yeah, yes, yes.
Okay. Well, once again, I want to. I told you congratulations. I want to say congratulations once again on your accomplishments thus far, and I'm hoping that yourself, like Kevin Cox and others, will hopefully, inspire other young Grenadian basketballers that if you, Kevin, and others can make it, then they can make it as well.
That's correct. That's correct. You got to be determined. You got to be willing. You got to put that work in, and don't listen to the outside noise. Like if you're a hooper, you're a hooper. If you play soccer, you play soccer. You play cricket, you play cricket. Don't listen to the outside noise. Don't let nobody like downplay your dream. If you want to play basketball, just hoop. Trust me, there's coaches watching that you don't know who's watching. There is coaches who from Grenada who's coaching teams in America that be in Grenada and watching y'all. Trust me, y'all just don't see them because they just don't talk that much, but they do see y'all. So if y'all hooping, just hoop. Be determined.
Okay, let me read out something there, and if our readers can viewers rather can read it as well. Michael, some of the players that went on scholarships, they include Troy Douglas, Mark Pierre, Moriba Dikoto,
Mhm.
I think Washburn University, Billard McIntyre, Kimon Christopher, Johnny Jackson, Modesto College, Lyndon Daniel, Malloy College, Leanne and Deanne Gooden, they're twins, Lambeth University, Austin
Mhm.
Thomas, Ian Adams, East Central University, Andrew Thomas,
Mhm.
Jonathan Gibson, Tabo College, and that was before Akim, Hakeem, Pencil, and Kevin. So quite a few would have benefited from scholarship. So I'm going back to you again because we just about 3 minutes remaining. I still have to talk at you
Mhm.
because it's not all about the authorities and the public not giving basketball a chance. There, I call it quite a lot
But
of names, and I am
but
certain that other sports
mhm.
cannot boast about that sort of lineup of people who would have benefited from scholarships, and that is what we know of. Obviously, there might have been private initiatives as well. I'm
Yeah.
certain there are other sports that may not have had that sort of cadre, probably
Nah.
outside of track and field, probably outside of track
Track
and
and
field.
field, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Track
So,
and field,
but
and even soccer, even soccer have it. Like
right.
a
So
couple of my friends is in Louisiana.
right. So
I'm playing soccer.
basketball to an extent has had its fair share in terms of scholarships. But you are making the claim that for the sort of talents you have seen in Grenada, you believe that much more can be done.
Yeah, much more can be done because there's a lot of young kids out here who really could hoop and who really like. I really think like if they get the chance to go out there, they will make a name for themselves and they will like better their family lives like in the long run. So if we can just get that, like all they need is just a chance. So you just give them a chance, and if they mess it up, that's on them. But at least like you give them a chance.
But so how, and finally, as we wrap on that program, how you
Hmm.
think that yourself, Kevin, Johnny Jackson,
Yeah.
Mark Pierre, Troy Douglas, I mean, it's a list,
Uh-huh.
how these guys and can come together and put some, almost as a pressure group, because it seems as if these days for things to change, you know, they have to be not just the appeal, not just the customary
True.
appeal. How you think you
True.
can put some pressure on the authorities to change things? Because you want to see things change, but nothing has been happening. So how you think, or what you think can be done in the short term?
Just get rid of everybody that's there and put in some new faces.
It's something I saw earlier, and it may be harsh for now, but yeah, in terms of the short term, how you think things can get better for
Well,
basketball and for the sport, the development of the sport.
short term, I think it has to do with the tournaments and getting players to play who actually want to play and who want to improve and want to get better. So short term, I think it's like having tournaments. Long term, I think it's just a whole reset.
Okay, then. Well, I want to thank you once again. No, it's pretty late, and you have, as you're saying, you have a game on later on
Yeah,
today. It's actually Friday. It's now probably 1 a.m. I think in Croatia.
yeah. It's like 1 in the morning right now. I got to get my
Right,
5. So
right. You
yeah,
have to. So I really appreciate that, and hopefully we'll be able to chat once again sometime in the near future in terms of your season. But
uh,
glad to know everything is okay, and we wish you all the best in your 2020-2021 season in Croatia.
yep, yep. Thank you. Appreciate that, and yeah, hope to hear from you sooner or later. So yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, then. So there you have it, folks. Arkim Robertson, live from Croatia, speaking to us about his journey from the St. John's Christian Secondary School through the U.S. College and into professional league, starting in Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and he's now in Croatia. And we are hoping that as he sets his sights on bigger things, that probably not too long from now, we'll be talking about Arkim Robertson in the NBA. Remember the name Arkim Robertson. Thank you once again, Arkim, and all the best, and have a good season as we can wish you. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Arkim. Okay, then. So that's Arkim Robertson. Folks, is an invitation for you to join us on Saturday. That's this coming Saturday. We'll have Paul Roberts. Yet again, we'll be going with Paul Roberts, who hopefully will be speaking not just as a former sports manager, not just as a former station manager, but also as a former sports broadcaster. And Paul Roberts has been involved in basketball to an extent on the officiating side, though, but more so football as an administrator. And he will also speak about why he got involved in administration of football and why he decided to bow out. Folks, you cannot afford to miss that edition of Saturday Sports Special from 1 o'clock on Saturday with Paul Roberts. We'll be looking at specifically also the sports media, because Paul Roberts will talk about how they did that back in the 70s, starting with WIBS, the Windward Islands Broadcasting System, and then also the then Radio Grenada, and how sports broadcasting, how they were able to bring sports broadcasting, cover sports rather, all throughout the island. And the islands, I should say by extension, because there was also the Windward Islands as much as the Windward Islands Broadcasting Service. So don't forget to join us on Saturday, and come next Thursday, we have the Ministry of Sports. Colin Peters, the coordinator of sports, will be with us on the programs, the Thursday edition of Talk Sports. So the invitation for this Saturday, Paul Roberts will be with us on Talk Sports Special Edition. Once again, thank you for joining us. We had a very early edition because of the time zone in Croatia. So for those of you who probably just joined us, thinking that you still have some time, you can look at the replay. We started just a half an hour earlier because of the time zone and because we wanted to give Arkim some time to rest because he has a match later on in Croatia. They're 6 hours ahead, and we at least wanted to be a bit more responsible and give him that time. Thank you once again for all those who have joined us and be with us and for your comments, and we look forward to you on Saturday for the Saturday Sports Special. Good evening.